the streets of Chicago to the headlines of the world, you are now tuned into the rhythm of real thought. This is the Daily Mix. 15 minutes of uncut perspective starts right now.
All right. Welcome back, y'all, to the Daily Mix. Omari Jahi. I'm your host, Omari Jahi. And the question for the day is, what is what is being beautiful? We're told that beauty is a very specific physical ideal. Having huge, flawless skin, expensive clothing, or even social media filters, those filters that make you look better than what you consider yourself. We always thought about them, had thoughts about that. They create these filters that are insecure about how they physically look. The question that I'm raising is beauty really a physical thing? We Physical beauty is a asset. It's temporary. If the whole definition of beauty is based on how someone looks on the outside, what happens when time and gravity do what it do naturally? Real beauty is it's healing, the way of moving through this world. It's not physical. It's more mental. It's not something you buy. It's something you build. Like I said, building your character, having a beautiful personality. That's where beauty really comes in. And beauty comes in. You can live up to the concept that it's a physical thing. We push it all the way. This is wonderful. You know, it's a physical thing. But beauty can be contributed to how we treat each other. Not everyday reality should be. I mean, because everyday like being good, beautiful personality. Beauty, again, is in our character. It's a person who shows up when they say they will. It's the piece. Somebody brings into a room to try to change life. That's beautiful. That person has a beautiful personality. This is the true definition of beauty, not this physical thing that we've been focusing on with generations after generation. I mean, there's even a beauty to community. You know, uh, there's something profoundly beautiful about people pulling together, helping one another out, a neighbor, or just uh, taking the time to truly listen to someone else's without making it about yourself. There's a beauty to that. And I think our next, our youth, our children, and I want to emphasize this. Every time I think about our youth or our children, I want to emphasize that we need to stop calling kids. Kids are baby goats. And do you know that a goat is considered to be very stubborn? So imagine what you are saying when you call your children kids, my kids. Then wonder, and believe it or not, names and titles are very profound in building personality and character of people that we give these names and titles to. Like dog and the female dog, B. What's up, B? Things have influence over our personalities and our character. For our young people, for our children, the next generation, being a person, the young people are an incredible image of themselves. It is down basic instructions of life. And for them, beautiful creations. It's a beautiful thing. Our definition, of well, maybe I should say the politically incorrect definition of beauty is so widespread that my little voice here on this little podcast makes uh, 10 minutes. It's probably not it's an hour. But podcast, 25 this definition grows up with us. It grows up with us. The definition of beauty as we grow up. But what we chase in our 20s, it doesn't register us when we hit 40s, 50s, and 60s. Those same things that, or those same ideals that you carried around when you were 20, what beauty is when we were 20, when we were 30, what is really beautiful. When you get 40, 50, and 60, your understanding of beauty kind of changes. You know, when you get up in age, this beauty thing, or this image thing, I should call it, becomes like a badge of honor, whereas you still have some people, that I agree when it comes to people, to be honest, that go about trying to keep their youthful appearance. I kept dyeing my gray, to black, so I won't look so old because with the gray, you know, these things, my gray is a badge of honor. Gray hair, the little laugh lines, the scars, they are things to have. They are proof that I survived. I'm 65 years old. I survived 65 years on this planet. And that's saying something. These laugh lines, that we laughed, we cried, we lived, and we're still here, standing strong. You know, there's an unmatched beauty in a person who is entirely comfortable. Who doesn't need external validation to know their worth. You know, when you don't need it. And I was telling a friend of mine this. I naturally, you probably can see it because of the glasses. I have like these dark rings under my eyes, these dark spaces under my eyes. You know, and I know some people probably don't know. There was a cartoon character out back called Rocky. I felt like I looked like Rocky under my eyes. And so, as we talk, the professional teacher and the professional, I would makeup on to cover these dark patches under my eyes. Because to me, it made me look old. But you know what? As I got older, I realized I'm not trying to impress the 20s and 30s. I'm trying to be attractive because I'm trying to attract somebody, you know, so that you can share those later years. Hopefully the attraction ain't just called, how do you say, blowing somebody's back with it. It ain't about that. But you're trying to attract somebody. And now in my 60s, and the fact that I'm married, what am I looking for? Who am I trying to please? Who am I trying to attract? You know, that's what because I see a lot of wearing these little skimpy outfits and things of that nature. Hey, if that's you, be you. That's just all I'm saying is we have to understand what beauty really is. Beauty is not just beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And when they said that, that's usually they were basing it on hair. They got this thing coming that's out now. They call it carpet hair. They call it women with natural hair, uh, curly, fluffy, or whatever hair, natural coarse hair. They calling that carpet hair. And the good hair is when you take a straightening comb and you straighten that out, and it's like white women hair, you know. And I can say some things that ain't with this. But we only got about 4 more minutes, and I want you all to understand that in summary, true beauty is this company is half years on the years. By the way, happy New Year's. And if you don't understand why New Year's is legal first, ask me next time. I'll just share this with you. Capricorn, Aquarius, which is this weekend. Because we'll be back Monday at 12 noon. But this Saturday and Sunday, I want to challenge you guys. I want you to look for beauty that has absolutely nothing to do with physical appearance. I'm gonna say that again. I want you to look for beauty that has nothing to do with physical appearance. Act of kindness, that's beauty. A deep conversation, that's beauty. Or just a quiet moment of gratitude. I had a podcast being on is the daily. See you Monday. Take care of your mind, take care of your health. And we'll be back in the mix tomorrow at 12 noon. Till then, peace out.